So, quick show of hands, how many humans have we got in the room? You weren't sure, that's fine.
Most question was like...
Well, that's a bit to check you're paying attention, isn't it? So there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is because you're all human, you will do what all humans do, and you will watch this presentation, and you'll go, oh, that's interesting, yes, very thoughtful, forget. Shush. Apart from a very small percentage in the room, most of you will forget everything, you will ignore it, you go, it's very interesting, and then just put it to one side. And then, I'll get my wording right, it'll get to a point when you're running around like a headless chicken, with no time to eat or sleep, when turnover and work levels are increasing but cash flow is for some reason getting worse, when you have stressed staff and key people are leaving, customer complaints go through the roof and you just can't keep demand. And then you'll think, what did that bloke say again? Do I need to get a penguin or something? But there is some good news, because just by seeing this, you are slightly more aware. I've made you think about it. And just by thinking about it, you're going to spot something as it happens, and you'll be able to react a little bit quicker. So just by knowing about it and talking to the people you know, hopefully that will just start spreading that message. So if you forget nothing else, at least be aware of the concept and be looking out for it and talking to everybody. But most people sit there and they think, well, it doesn't apply to me, it's fine, nice problem to have, and all the rest of it. If it's too much work, yeah, bring it on. But just think about, you might be in a good position. What about your suppliers? What about your customers? What about the rest of the chain line? Other people that you rely on? They are going to go through the same problems, the same issues. So anyway, I have I'll talk you through some of the things. I'll give you some hints and tips. There's a nice little handout, and they're on the table at the back there, so everybody grab one if you haven't got one already. So when you do forget about it, you can remind yourself later on. And the first thing is, I said about awareness. So I'm raising that awareness with you already, so you're just thinking about it. But what I've done is I've put some questions on the back, and you can ask yourself these questions now. You can ask your questions of your clients, you can ask the questions of your suppliers. And it's just something to be thinking about now, whilst you can. For example, by how much would demand have to increase before you would be unable to meet it? Both practically and financially. Start thinking about now what the good levels are, what you can get up to. Would your suppliers be able to meet significant increases in order? Start thinking about your, if you're running at a higher level, what your cash flow is going to look like, what your pricing structure needs to be. You can start thinking about these things now whilst you can do something about it. 10 questions may not all apply to you, there are other questions out there, but have a look at them, apply them to your business, apply them to your suppliers and your customers. One good one at the end, who is the person in your business that will be unaffected by any uplift and can focus on overseeing strategy and managing the team and process? If your answer is currently no one, you need to move things until that answer is you, because then you'll be in a position to take your business forward. Okay? Anyway, have a look at those questions, take them with you, apply them. So, with that awareness, when we're looking at those things, when we know where our weak spots are, we can be looking out for it for when those signals crop up, and then we can do something about it. And the key thing is to act quickly. As you say, we sense the door, we feel it moving, you act quickly, otherwise you're on your face. For example, that big order comes in, everybody has to work the weekend to make sure they get it through. It's hard work, but you manage to get it completed and everybody's happy. Slap on the back, job well done. The next one comes in, and then the next. By the time you get to that third big job, and everybody's run ragged, if you haven't started thinking about and doing something, you're not acting quickly enough. You might need to do anything, but start thinking about it and see where those problems need to be. So you need to act quickly. The next thing we talked about was reducing the pressure slightly. We want to be going in that direction, we're actually taking a slight backward step. In other words, in business terms, reduce your selling, reduce your marketing. Complete opposite of what we've been doing for the last 5 to 6 years. Seems like a contradiction in terms, but if you don't understand that, if you're in the bath and you're drowning, the first thing you do is turn the bloody taps off. Doesn't have to be completely, but enough to take the pressure off so you can actually think about what you're doing. Caroline knows this one now. The most important word in business is?
No.
No. Throughout history, the really successful businesses know how to say no very well. Henry Ford, you can have any colour as long as it's black. That means you can't have green, you can't have black. Lots of ways of saying no. Apple are very good at releasing their products only with one supplier, so it creates demand within a specific, because it creates scarcity, it creates demand. It's a way of saying no in a very clever way. And that's what you need to do. You need to learn how to say no, and that is the measure of a really successful business. So you can start that now. So you've taken the pressure off. Now's the time to really put into action those thoughts that you've already looked at on your sheet. So you're checking your stance. We now know it's going to get busy. Have I got the right team around me? Do I need to start putting some replacements in? What support do I need? What do I need to do about prices and cash flow? Start thinking about, have you got your business structured to be able to cope with the demand that's going to happen over the next few years? And though you have to be making those changes now if you haven't done so already. One note, when the door does swing open and people get in that sort of, well, you have that phase, as I say, where about nice problem to have. That ends about here, that nice problem to have. There's the door, nice problem to have, ends about there, and oh shit is about there. But the best way to actually sort of keep upright is to keep your head up and fixed on a point over there. And so you might as well start locking into that now and start thinking about where your eye line is going to be if you do trip over. In other words, why are you in business? What is your purpose for generating the cash out of this business that gets you what you want? Because when you're in this melee and you're swirling around and you don't know what's going on and you're falling over, that is the first thing that you lose sight of. And that is the worst thing to lose sight of. It's the one thing you need to hold on to. Quick show of hands. Who's in business to make money? Excellent. I'm only accepting that answer from people that work in the Royal Mint. You are not here to make money. The money does something for you. It might be material, it might be a bigger boat or bigger holidays, or it might be security for your family. Whatever it is, lock on to what it is so you know why you're in business and keep that focused in your mind before you carry on. You can start thinking about your ideal client at this point. Up until now, if they'd come in and offered you a job, you've taken it. And you ended up dealing with people you didn't really want to deal with. Now the market's shifted, it's grown, you can choose who you work with. So decide who your ideal client is. You can be more focused, you can be more specific about the people you take on. And that's what we mean by applying more specific, more focused and careful pressure. So you can change your marketing and start targeting who it is that you want. And you start turning the taps back on, but the way you want those sales to come in and start applying the pressure. Now we're expecting that door to go. So when the door does go, instead of those short little stubby steps which get into trouble, you want to take long, slow strides. In other words, you want less clients with more value and less bother. You've already changed your marketing tactic to bring the right people on board. Now's the time you can get rid of those you don't like. Sack your bad clients. Get rid of that luggage, get rid of that baggage, get rid of that weight, which will allow you to stand up and move forward, taking through with you the clients that really bring value to you, freeing you up to get more clients in of the type that you want. And once with that, you're up and away, and you can run at the pace you like. That's the main steps. There is one other thing which you will find useful at all stages, wherever you are, whether you're trying to work out how to get up and running because you haven't actually got out of this bit yet, or you're up against the door and you're not quite sure how you look, or you're starting to run and you're feeling a little unsteady. You don't have to do it by yourself. Have someone there that can lift you up, check your stance, hold your hand whilst you're running. That's what I do, by the way. It's not a sales pitch.
Sales pitch.
Not a sales pitch, I've got to throw it in there. But you can outsource stuff as well. You don't have to do all your numbers yourself. There are accountants in the room. They will help you. There are VAs in the room. They will take some weight off your shoulders. There are who do you need to help you get to where you want to be? I'll swing a road, that's fantastic. Do not be worried about, you do not have to do everything yourself. Look for help and look for support. So, in summary, the economy is going to grow. When it does grow, it's going to grow fast. We don't know when, but it will. If you're not careful, you can trip over yourself. But there are things you can do now that will mean that when those benefits come, you can really be successful. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Any questions?